It's about time we repay those who betrayed our house. Come. Rogue traitor, you treasonous worm. I knew I should have killed you. That is enough, boy. You betrayed the child, our house, and Siphonia herself. Surrender. I am the savior of our house, and I am prepared to pay the ultimate price. Kill them! Anytime now. Okay.
Your
Great.
arrogance will be your downfall.
Alright. Let's get spread out.
I'm ready for comes. Focus on me. Cover me down. Stop it!
Close. Theobald coughs up bluish blood.
Child, survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet brown haze! Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
He was a fine seer of the war. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
Losing a mentor is a sorrowful event, beginning the mantra of spiritual assuagement.
I regret that we had to meet under such circumstances.
What need have I for your regrets? I just want things to go back to the way they were before. What are you going to do to me?
Lady Cassio, let us aid one another. Become my navigator, and I shall restore you to House Orselio at the earliest opportunity.
Accompanying a rogue trader on their travels is an honor for any navigator. Let us go. I can no longer bear the sight of the deathly pale shadows that drape the bodies of the fallen.
So true, Queen. Sorry, Daria. You're out. We've got a cooler warp entity now. Well, you're not a warp entity. You know, a psyker. Let's see. Oh Christ. Oh, we got a lot to go through on this one. Okay, great. Actually, wait, what is your equipment like? Your staff. Okay. Oh fuck, I never equipped that pistol. Oh wait, no, I did. I forget to do things so frequently. You should probably have a melee weapon. When did we get this chainsword? When did we get this? It's not better than that. This must be better than something somebody has. Mine? No. Yours? Really? Oh, well, you already have a chainsword, I guess. Yours? It does have... It has a higher floor, but also a slightly lower ceiling. I think I like that a little better, actually. It's also not electric, which, you know, was a problem at one point. Alright, great. Well, that was easier to resolve than I expected it to be. Oh, fuck. True, I should have looked at that guy's body. That's a lot better than what I've got. It's okay, we can see it on this screen anyway. More staffs. Target's weapon skill and ballistic skill is reduced by 5 for 2 rounds. And... okay. Now counts, so we actually have to equip this stuff. Argenta attacks the most, or is liable to hit the most targets. You can also have this. Yes. I'm going to equip this pistol, which means we could give Abelard the pistol I just unequipped. Nope, it's actually worse. It's not better than the bolter, I remember that much. It's gotta be better than yours. Yeah. Not that you're likely to use your pistol, but, you know, you never know. And then we had these. We will give these to Kalox. I know it says Heinrichs for, like, his name and everything, but Kalox just sounds better, you know? Alright, well that was easier to resolve than I thought it would be. I guess now we'll go and talk to the governor, since that was what we were advised to do before we came here. Then we still have to go to the prison colony, right? Which is presumably where the Space Marine is going to be, because I assume we'll meet all our party members in this chapter. Or at least the majority of the party members. And yet we have not bumbled into the Space Marine, who you would expect them to put front and center. But, you know, pleasantly surprised. Of course, it's only a Space Wolf, based on what I've seen on the cover. Not a Salamander, the far superior brand of Space Marine.
Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual, but if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first...
Your heart starts beating furiously. Your breaths come short and choppy, and your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Vigdis is shivering slightly, and the crew are glancing around in puzzlement, searching for the source of the sudden wave of unease. Without looking at the Voxmaster, Cassia waves her away.
Anyway, first I wish to speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you are ready for the ritual, please let me know.
Cassia sweeps her pensive gaze over Vigdis, then, lowering her lashes slightly, turns to you. What did you wish to speak about? Before I begin the ritual, I wish to look again into the eyes of the woman whose fame is so great it managed to penetrate the impregnable walls of Uruk V long before we ever met. It's been like a week. It truly is you, Ophelia, the person the whole Expanse and Calyx system are talking about, and now a rogue trader as well. Sure, I guess I was doing things before. After a few seconds' hesitation, Cassia lets out a small exhale, then raises her pointed chin. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded with such mournful ash when Theobald's heart stopped, but you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that I am immeasurably grateful. But now, Cassio throws back her shoulders, I am ready to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paints you have on board, but no red. Why are you asking for these items? Now is not the time to indulge in painting. You are asking questions the answer to which you cannot comprehend. Well, sorry, I suppose. Perhaps I may explain it to you all at a later time, but for now, our time is too precious to waste. As a navigator of House Orcelio, I give you my word that without canvas and paint, we have little hope of a smooth journey through the warp. I have no reason to lie. Tell me more about what the ritual entails. I doubt the uninitiated could understand the mysteries of navigation, but I shall try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind and will with the machine spirit of the ship, and so that I become one with the vessel. Cassia lifts a lock of hair from the back of her neck, revealing gilded implant ports. Really, this is necessary? It's just augmentation again. Okay. After that, I use the House Orcelio ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all errant thoughts. And then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions, mirages, and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that will lead me from star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light, the guiding thread, so fine it can slip from one's grasp at any moment. Cassia unfurls her hand as though dropping something. But you have nothing to worry about. The navigators of House Orcelio never lose their course. What she's saying about the light is that it's hard to navigate in the warp because everything's completely fucked up, what with it being hell and all. So the Emperor is sat on the golden throne, which basically acts as the North Star. Like, he's emitting such a strong psionic beacon, basically, that you can see Earth, and so even in the warp, and they basically use that as the North Star to navigate while they're in the warp. Why do you refuse red paint? It is my habit to use the blood of my attendants so as to preserve my own. However, given the current circumstances, my own will serve even better. The blood of the Navis Nobilite is sacred, and so is more suitable for the communal ritual. I shall ensure that all the necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. Cassia nods in thanks. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rite. I ask you, do not follow me. Few can survive the gaze of the warp eye when it's opened.
Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between Lady Navigator and the bridge. May the Emperor's light help us all.
Mm-hmm. The Voxcaster in the Sanctum Navis picks up the susurration of clothes, pious chanting, and the metallic clinking of implants. Then the serene voice of the Lady Navigator breaks the silence. Initiating communion ritual. You hear the exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard, then the stifled gasp of the Lady Navigator, the rhythmic dripping of liquid on canvas, and the faint whisper of a brush. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails, and umber shadows spinning over the surface in a fiery dance. A storm rising above foaming waters, armadas drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit of her? No, of me. Its frozen rays lie that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. The Voxmaster recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitator levers. The panel beneath her fingers emits sparks and the Voxcaster falls silent. She quickly flips a series of switches and bows guiltily.
My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I have never heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again.
It did seem to imply that the Emperor was dead, which I don't tell Henrix, but the Emperor's definitely dead. Okay, the Carrion Emperor. You know, don't tell the Inquisitor. Leave the Lady Navigator undisturbed. Soul-shredding screams drown out the Vox transmission. The servants in the Sanctum Navis are howling and shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain, their throats raw from the strain, and then, sudden silence. The dull thud of dropping bodies proclaims their fate.
It appears the servants were part of the Lady Navigator's rite, as it was for her predecessor. I will arrange for the bodies to be removed from the Sanctum Navis after the ritual, or what is left of them.
Fun fact. So the Emperor's stuck on the Golden Throne, right? Because he's dead. But, or mostly dead anyway. And to keep him alive, they feed him 1,000 psychers a day. And the process by which these psychers die is not quick and painless, naturally. But, we're churning through a lot of people pretty quickly, But if the Astronomicon, which is the North Light, I'd forgotten the name earlier, if that goes out, humanity's pretty fucking fucked, so.
Rogue Trader, I fear I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be whole in two, and my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly now as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward. The way is blocked. Here's some background lore for you. So, there was the Eye of Terror, right? The Eye of Terror was chilling over a planet called Cadia. Cadia stands. Now, Cadia done got destroyed. And when that happened, the Eye of Terror suddenly got a lot bigger, a lot faster. And now the galaxy is pretty much cut in half by a giant seam that is just, like, the immaterium splitting the universe in two, pretty much. And we're on the wrong side of that, as it turns out. Bad news. Bad news for us. You hear a heavy exhale, rustling fabric, and metallic clicking. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you have need of me. Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Spare me a few moments of your time, please. There are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I want to report on the condition of the station, Urak 5. Regrettably, we arrived too late to evacuate the residents of the station. The warp disruptions affecting Urak 5 twisted the bodies and minds of its attendants. The corruption failed to affect Lady Cassia, thank the Emperor. The navigators are trained to resist the Immaterium's pull. I would also like to remind you that Governor Medina is still waiting for you to talk to you in his command center.
I am flying over to meet with the governor immediately. Prepare the shuttle.
Of course, Lord Captain.
Let's go.
Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck.
Understood, brother. Alright, let's go talk to the guy right now. Turns the ship isn't even out of the parking lot yet.
Your Captain, something terrible is happening on the lower decks. Again, I'm sorry. I know that I've barely even put the car into drive, but...
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
I see you are fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although, Most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
Oh, sorry, that was it. The events that took place on Urak 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord
Nailed
Captain.
it.
Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Are you satisfied with your new attendants?
Your servants are somewhat sluggish when it comes to attending a noblewoman of the Navis nobility, but they are quite tolerable. Thank you for your concern.
Really? That, I guess... I didn't realize that was how that was pronounced. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusting the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes the topic of gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It is clear she does not feel comfortable aboard a ship teeming with new people. I hope that you've had ample time to calm yourself and your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting.
Sorry, but I didn't have another option.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
If you're implying I want to fuck you, the answer is no. That's Argenta. I simply have basic human decency, which, to be fair, is fairly rare.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
Just multiple asshole-ish responses, eh? You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad, and it is just as natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here?
Oh, she's discovering what emotions are. Isn't that delightful?
At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
I understand what you are going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so... private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Yeah, sorry about that. You know, there's a bit of a big you know, space racism problem around here. Well, not even racism, really, is it? You know, what would you describe it as? Ableism? It's an ism of some description. We got a lot of those in the Imperium. Governor. Greetings again, your ladyship. Governor Medea offers Henrix a somewhat strained smile. Master von Kalox, it pleases me to see you in good health. I hope that you accomplished what you intended to at the electrodynamic Cinebeum. The interrogator nods without saying a word. After an uncomfortably long pause, Medina clears his throat and quickly turns to you. I cannot express... What did I get? Oh, nothing. Okay, right. I cannot express how grateful I am for your help. Now that the insidious heretic's designs have been thwarted, nothing stands in the way of my plans or yours. With Aurora dead, the spirit of revolt is waning. Entire squads of rebels are surrendering. We are witnessing the final days of the uprising. I have already signed the order to allocate 2,000 first-class voidfarers to your ship. The transfer to your ship should begin any minute now. I would also like to salute the savior of Rykat Minoris, and I already have a festive celebration to be held in your honor. We will celebrate your victory with an ancient custom, the Triumph. You will drive through the city streets accompanied by a guard of honor, as befits a heroine who has vanquished the Imperium's enemies, while your trophies will be displayed in to the jubilant crowds. Let me know once you have concluded your business in the system and are ready for the Triumph to begin. I have other businesses in the system. Here is the end of the chapter. Please let me know when you're ready. Then I daren't delay you any further, your ladyship. Understood. Alright. Let's go investigate the other planets, then. Scan. Yeah. Opening the map of the crown. Well, you've already shown me this. No, party limit is reached, of course. I just saw an empty thing and was like, click on it. Alright. How's the prison planetoid doing? No doubt great. I'm sure there's no riots happening right now. Well, at least things aren't immediately awful.
Keep your wits about
you. The wisdom to perceive.
Come in, escort. This is Captain Vekari. Escort, please come in. The pale young woman looks at you with a mixture of hope and disbelief swirling in her eyes. You notice her hands trembling as she clutches her weapon. Who are you? Did you come from the planet? Are you reinforcements? Saints, teeth, I thought you'd never come. What happened here? There's been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it is being led by the prison warden himself. What? The Honorable Anathagon Casgelia. He has allied himself with the rabble that he himself was supposed to watch and declared Rykat Philia to be independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor. I came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Evane Winterscale, son of Caligus Winterscale, rogue trader. Rogue trader, vanquisher of Xenos, forever triumphant over the enemies of humanity. She details, enunciating every word of her lord's title. Young Lord Winterscale wished to speak with the warden personally so he could put an end to this lawless treason. He and his escort went ahead and... She grows paler. I haven't been able to contact them over Vox for a very long time now. Evane Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Urak 5 on behalf of his father, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. The Great Regent would not have granted entry to someone dishonorable, which means whatever happened in this terrible, malodorous place we must aid this man of noble blood. Tell me about this planetoid. The only settlement on Rykat Philia is a penal colony. The prisoners work in the mines and the domed quarries. They mine sulfur, ceramidust, and sand, which is then melted down, a rather nondescript place, or so it was prior to current events. The warden himself is spearheading the riots. Yes, she bites her lip. No one expected this. Master Castigalia is a nobleman from a respected governor house and a vassal to House Winterscale. All of a sudden, he proclaimed that Rykad Filia was his own personal domain, that the prisoners were his subjects, and that he would never bow to anyone again. It's pure heresy. Why would the young Winterscale have felt the need to parley with the dissidents? She sighs quietly. It's a personal matter. Master Castigalia, the seditious warden, is Lord Yvain's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, so he rushed here without delay, in hopes of bringing his old friend to his senses, no doubt. The first Winterscale in my memory who prefers to talk first rather than shoot and slash. She smiles faintly. Young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. He is determined to save his friend. He won't back down. I pray to the throne that he is alive and well. He's been gone for such a long time, and I really don't like this place. Cassia frowns in confusion. Theobald executed his wife and only son on the mere suspicion of treason against House Orselio. So why did the noble Yvain rush to save someone who had betrayed his house? Do bonds of friendship give one right to make inexcusable mistakes? Excellent question. Is this riot connected to the planetary rebellion? It seems more likely that Warden Castigalia learned about the rebellion in Rykad Minoris and decided to use the situation to his advantage. I can't say for certain, perhaps no one can. Governor Medina has always preferred to shoot rebels rather than inquire about their motives and connections. Is there anything else I should be appraised of before I set out? Some of the rebels have held up in the barracks. I don't know how many, but given this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution, your ladyship. Lord Winterscale's guards mined the entrance so that the rebels couldn't get to the shuttle. I have no more questions. You may excuse yourself, pilot. The woman freezes for a moment before asking hesitantly, Your ladyship, if I may have a moment of your time, I wouldn't ever have dared to trouble you with such a personal matter, but the situation... In any case, have you been to the capital of Rykad Minoris yet? I wanted to ask if you saw a man there, a communications officer by the name of Jasper. You need not worry, Jasper is alive. She lets out a long sigh. You see the relief gleaming in her eyes. You can't imagine how much I needed to hear that. Thank you. She bows. You can tell the desperation in her eyes. By the desperation in her eyes, she is frightened, exhausted, and wishes to be off this planetoid as soon as possible. Wow, how about that? They aren't both dead. They're both alive. That's crazy. The guard post has been vacant for a long time. There's a layer of dust on every surface. Alright. Build a bridge. I mean, I figured it wouldn't, but you never know.
I always keep my options open.
Alright.
This could be an opportunity.
Wait, who's gonna go?
Serving the
Argenta.
Inquisition
Do
means
not.
peering into the secrets of humanity's foes. Aren't you afraid that one day you will peer too deeply, Interrogator?
Fear is the enemy of duty. Anyone who cannot overcome this weakness does not last long in the Holy Inquisition.
True. The remains of a meal, one far too lavish for even a hive world, let alone a prison colony. A long string of names extends beneath the heading, Top Quarry Workers of the Cycle. Let's just put that in the inventory now. Grok shit. Why me? Why? I missed my tithe payment 12 years ago. 12 years! The inspector's writ got lost somewhere in the bowels of the planetary administratum. Fun fact, there are actually, basically, lost tribes of people in the Administorum. It's so vast and wide that there are just, whole factions of people living in the bowels of the place. Because obviously we need to make things... We need to make things as complicated as possible. There are wars waged in the Administratum headquarters over storage space, where they can put all their damned files. Anyway, I was lying there this whole time, but they made sure to remember to tack on the fines every month. By the time they found the blasted paper and finally informed me the total sum was so obscene it would take 3 generations of my descendants, if I had any, to pay it off.
My fate was sealed. Trial, sentence, prison. All because of some daft rotter who shoved my paper in the wrong box. To be fair, I think I got off pretty easy. My bed's in the barracks is about as hard as that slab of rock crate I've got at home. Working in the quarry isn't much tougher than my old job. The rules, void take me. That old sod that governs Rykard Minoris is a bloody sadist by comparison. It's a strange old place. I haven't been beaten once yet. The guards bark orders all the time, but they never hit us. They also got this kind of inner circle of special chosen prisoners. The Optimatum, they call it. If you can get in, Emperor is my witness, you get an actual day off. Oh my god. You must be joking. An entire day off? It's unheard of. What sort of fucking utopian prison are you in right now? I've lost my place, sorry. They let you out of your cell and into the yard by the big barracks, and I'll tell you what, they let you rest there and feed you better than whatever swill they're giving us in the canteen. They told me it's to improve our motivation and all that, to foster a stronger desire to reform and become worthy servant of the Imperium once more. But I know it for what it is, just a club for the Warden's favourites. The same story as everywhere else. Suck up to people in power and get some swanky perks. That's a pretty unheard of perk to get in this world, though. They say the whole thing was the Warden's idea. Funny man, our Warden. He looks more noble than nobility itself. Tall, groomed, teeth-eaten, eyes burning, boots so polished you can see yourself when you move to lick 'em. But that nutter doesn't much want people licking his boots. He walks around looking like he's deep in thought, alright, with only a couple of guards at his side, and he sometimes, if you can believe it, talks to the prisoners. What's your name? He asks them more quiet like. Why were you condemned? Do you feel remorse? He never even yells at no one. Never orders them to have them flogged. Instead he doles rewards out to the special ones. Keeps telling us things like how we should strive to make society believe in us again. Whatever ye say, Master Warden. Starting tomorrow, I'll be trying to join these optimates of yours. I'm stuck in here till the day I die, but that means no return to society for me. But with the Emperor's help, I might just join the ranks of the local elite. Something suspicious is happening here. And as soon as somebody shows a basic level of human decency, what's he up to? Scraps of typical prison food, repulsive to the senses.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none!
Right.
Brace yourself!
Relax. Cassia is an officer and your ship's navigator. She strikes with energies of the warp and supports the party by making her allies stronger. Voice of Command is an officer ability that increases an ally's characteristics for 1 round, and also allows the officer to use their other officer archetype abilities on that ally from any distance. The higher the officer's fellowship bonus, the more the target's characteristics are increased. As an officer can use Voice of Command again on the same ally after 2 turns have passed since his first application. Bring It Down is an officer ability that lets them immediately pass the turn to an ally. The ally does not gain any movement points for this extra turn, but they do gain a number of action points depending on the officer's fellowship bonus. So it's best to use this on someone like Argenta. If the ally is under the effect of Voice of Command and destroys an enemy before the end of the officer's turn, the ally will be granted extra momentum for this kill. Lidless Stare is a unique damaging ability that assails all targets in a wide cone in front of the navigator with warp energies. The damage dealt is based on the navigator's willpower bonus. All creatures targeted by this ability must pass a willpower resistant test or become stunned. Delightful. Oh, I've been ambushed, my bad. Let's go.
I am a navigator, not a scout.
Oh my god, that felt amazing.
I'm not constantly moving around.
I refuse. Give it up.
I have returned some military tactics. Is this a doctor? You me? You, the privy!
Great. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted. Venerable Optimates, the best among us. The list is faded and the names are barely legible. Okay. What goods we got? Just a knife? Fuck is that? Force grenade. Then pushes the target 2 cells away. If a target in this area fails a toughness stat, they fall prone. Nice. Stub revolver. This is better than Abelard's. Serrated knife? Meh. And these are the usual. Abelard, congrats. You got a new pistol. I will equip that and this. Who else has grenades? You, of course. Here you go. Great. Inspect the poster.
I've read about this.
The grease-stained edges of the poster. Never mind. Got some goods, though. Improved auto pistol. Wow. Delightful. These cages have been placed in plain view of the beds. Inside are traces of blood and excrement. Delightful! Oh, goods. Okay. What we got? Harry. Fucking hell. That was a little cat interaction right there. Please get this out of my face. What? Please? Okay, Jesus Christ. Pressing escape was not working. Ha ha ha, I swear. The Emperor hasn't forsaken me. Guess who just came down the shuttle gangway among the French bastard prisoners? Cleansing throne-damned Willia, former administratum clerk. No, the clerk. The very same scum who lost the writ about the missing payment. He's the reason I'm in this hole. Don't know what they threw him in for, but I've never felt better in my life. He's not just behind the same bars as me, he's fresh meat, and I'm a venerable Optimate, respected by everyone in the colony. The warden just came up with a new improvement. From now on, anyone who underperforms, misbehaves, or causes trouble any other way is to be punished by the community. Specifically, by the local best and brightest. Yours truly, the Optimates. The last 2 sods who failed to meet the quota were stripped naked, whipped, and thrown in the cages in the big barracks. And that's where they have to eat, sleep, and shit with everyone now, with everyone watching. I thought to myself then, that isn't right, but they've taken these punishments too far. But now, just you wait, you piece of grok shit. For I'll get you for something. Those cages are calling your name. Delightful! Wonderful! Prison is so cool. The beds here are bolted to the floor. Some have thin, torn bed sheets and even tattered pillows. Wow.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Argenta, don't you find it difficult to be without your sisters? You are a soldier without a squad.
I will fight alongside my sisters again. But my present fate is not a burden to me. No matter where I go, or who I am with, I bring death to heretics. That is what matters.
Spoken like a true sister. Fuck. This guy's diarrhea is everywhere. I'm scared. I should have known all that charity from the warden was gonna bring nothing but trouble. No noble, no matter how balmy, would pull anything of the sort. But that man, it started with the little things. The warden would come by to talk to us, as he did, except he used to ask us questions before, and now he was mostly gushing sermons. Some gibberish about a path to purgation, the sanctity of sacrifice, seeing with blinded eyes. I listened and nodded. Yes, Master Warden. Of course, Master Warden. He could say whatever rubbish he wanted as long as the tasty Optimate meals kept coming. I thought everyone else was doing the same, nodding just to please the big man. I was wrong. After that, people in the barracks started yapping on about purgation and blindness too. Apparently us Optimates were no longer just the Warden's favourites. We were, Emperor forgive me, prophets of some kind who were meant to save the rest of this sorry lot, or awaken them, or make them see, some rubbish along those lines. People were now supposed to make sacrifices to Optimates. Yesterday, the sap who slept in the bed under mine in my first year here cut off his own damn ear and crawled on his knees towards me. He handed me the ear and begged me not to forsake him when the fateful hour came. What in the throne am I supposed to do with an ear? Why is everyone, every single one, staring at me all the time? The Warden said the time was nigh, that fate had truly great things in store for the Optimates. I went to look how good my friend Cleansing was doing. He hadn't spoken for 3 months, ever since I had all his top teeth ripped out. He spoke today. He looked straight at me and said, "Dead man." I kept hitting him until it hurt me. Now my fist and feet are bruised. Half the barracks stood there and watched and prayed. I'm scared. To be honest, you deserve it, brother. You deserve to fucking die. You're an asshole.
Just as I planned.
The symbol before you bears a familiar scent, that of the dark forces of chaos. What is this? I don't recognize this one. The chopped up slabs of flesh have been thoroughly washed of any blood. Severed human body parts. Yeah, you know, you're right. Judging by the number of horrid morsels, dozens of victims were slain here. Delightful! Prison is so nice and cool, dude. Oh, it's locked. My bad. I was like, why won't you open it? My brethren, the dawn is nigh. The Optimates will guide us to a new existence. Right. Yes, yes, dear brethren, have a taste of my steel. Oh, how I've longed for this, my dear brethren. Thank the throne, normal-looking faces. We thought we were gonna die down here with these nutters. The old man with a gap-toothed smile drops his weapon and holds out his hands in a placating gesture. Please don't shoot us, your nobleness. Let us speak a word. Well, this is a welcome change. Talking before shooting. Still, Lord Captain, the look of this ragtag bunch hardly inspires trust. I came across a void ship in the system belonging to your associates. They told me some interesting things about you and your planned escape. The man grunts, huffs, and makes up his mind. Well, now that's out of the bag. Our fellows were supposed to come a long time ago, but they got tied up somewhere. Void cracked his gullet with them. And in that time, well, we had to wait. This happened. Pardon me for trying to pull the synth wall over you. It's just we want nothing to do with this whole Warden nonsense. So what now? Will you let us go? Give me a reason not to execute you on the spot. Here's the deal. We're honest, quiet inmates. We don't want to riot. But, well, sitting it out isn't really an option either. The Warden's lapdogs made short work of those who refused to join in the festivities, so we had to, you know, play along. But that's all it was, play. We never meant no offense to Governor Medina nor the lawful authority of House Winterscale. Give us a chance, eh? We just want to wait till everything blows over and we can go back to ourselves and quietly do the rest of our time. Pascal inquires demurely. Does the fact that this serf is presently confined and therefore has previously betrayed the trust of the Imperium servants need to be vocalized, or is it evidence to the light persons uninitiated in the mysteries of logic? A repentant, honest heretic! How novel! Judging by Abelard's tone, the Seneschal is utterly unimpressed by the old man's ingrating monologue. The low-born speech is malted with colors that conceal his true darker hues. This old man has a long history of lies, and he is using his wiles on us as well. But I see no foul corruptions or ill intent in his words. Tell me more about the Warden and the riot. Pah! Why soil your tongue talking about that heretic? But if you insist, here's how it is. The warden of this here prison, the Honourable Master Castigalia, was a crackpot from the start. The previous warden ran things the proper way. Prayer, one meal a day, work, a punch in the chompers from the guards, work again. Then the new one. Do you know what his first decree was? He introduced lunches and dinners. By the 9 devils, that's 3 meals a day. The man was obviously stark raving mad. This reads like a joke, but I honestly am like, holy shit, he is fucking insane. He has to be. There's no way any normal person in 40k is going to instigate something like that. Things went downhill from there. Can't you fucking believe it? He started feeding us 3 times a day. As you can imagine, everything went downhill from there. Fucking excellent, dude. The guards quit it with the teeth punching. The warden forbade them. Instead, the overseers started counting which prisoners were digging up more things in the quarry or swinging their pickaxes harder or whatnot. And then, would you believe it, they put together a list of the best workers. And if someone on that list also showed good behaviour, that's when they'd get promoted to an optimate. That's the upper crust among us jailbirds. Well, that's how it was at first. Then the warden decided it's the optimates, not the guards, who should be in charge of punishment. And that it wasn't the overseer's job to watch the prisoners work. It was the optimates. Well, let me tell you, that's when those goody two-shoes really started to shine. The guards aren't even in the same league as our dear fellows, the optimates. In the old days, we had maybe 5 or 10 stiffs kicking it a week. And now, well, we're lucky if it was only 50. Damn. And that wasn't even the end of it. Can you believe it? He started giving us pillows. And the next thing you knew it, we had fucking blankets. Can you fucking believe it? Does his depravity know no bounds? Warden Castigalia moved out of his chambers to live right in the quarry, under the dome, and I think something in his new home really scrambled his brain. He began spouting the wildest things, like the optimates are saints who will behold the truth, and he started taking them to the quarry. Not all of them were turned. The ones who did, you wouldn't recognize them. More beast than man. They were butchering people left and right, even guards and overseers. The warden himself had armed them. And that's the whole sob story. The whole sob story, can you believe it? He started feeding us, man. Fucking hell. But I knew it from the moment he let us have dinners. Oh, this won't end well. Fuck, that's actually what he said. Consider your assault request denied. Now die. One of you was probably the guy that wrote that diary, and even if you weren't, you're not going to be any better. Anyway, now that we've done a little justice, a little Judge Dredd action, let's fucking go.
This is intriguing.
Oh, there's hidden stuff in the desk. Can you fucking believe it? Faux hammer. Shotgun knockbacks enemy when shot at effective range. Oh. This is a shotgun? Okay. This is, when the wearer uses Endure, they immediately remove one of the effects on them. In that... Oh. They opened the other one. I was like, what the fuck? Diviner's Staff. I mean, we'll take it, but I'm not going to use it right now. Henrik's, you're wearing like a not good cape, right? Yeah. So you can have... Oh, wait, can you not equip this? No, that's the wrong one. Of course, I sorted it from newest. There you go, brother. Alright, to the main level. Let's build that bridge. Tremendous. Let's go.
I always keep my options open.
The corpse in a uniform decorated with the winter scale coat of arms. The dead guard did not even have time to draw a weapon. The attack must have come as a surprise. This is just the other door that I didn't go through, right? Yeah. Alright, let's go. Into the pit.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I don't like the look of this. The vibe is... Oh, it's another one of these things. The vibe is off. The accretions on the outside of the structure indicate some regular occurring natural phenomena, possibly poison gas emissions. Delightful. I told you, Heavy. No, wait, this is Warden Castigali. I told you, Heavy. They are hiding so much from us. Arrogant mentors, holy brothers and sisters, what have they ever given us? Nothing but a pile of fibs and useless admonitions. The voice of the man standing with his back to you sounds almost soft, heedless of everything but what is right in front of him. He leans over a prisoner dressed in expensive clothing. But Aurora, she is different. She spoke with me like no one ever had before. She revealed the truth to me, and now I can reveal it to you. If you just stop struggling for 1 minute. What? The man finally realizes he is not alone and turns to you. He is clutching a long, thin metallic rod with blood dripping off it. We have guests. For the Van Valania's ship, I would wager. Evie, my dear, you will have to wait. Do not faint, I beg of you. It's important you feel everything, including your other eye. The warden's words suddenly drowned out by a chorus of voices in your head. The entity that dwells in the recesses of your mind rejoices in a cacophony of cries. This place, it holds great significance for the entity. In the frantic chanting of the voices, you can almost make out words that speak of an ancient grave, one that was opened, for it contained a priceless treasure, a most coveted prize that was retrieved by the faithful after a centuries-long search. Such dreadful shades. Cassia recoils and covers her mouth. The colors of this place, they are putrescent to the core. These people, their colors are oozing with madness and despair, pain and doom. The interrogator surveys the quarry and the warden. This place was corrupted to its core long ago. Keep your weapons close, Lord Captain. How do you know who I am? Lies have many faces, but there's only one truth, and it has been laid before me. I knew the enemy of truth would come here sooner or later. Who is that on the table? My sincerest apologies. Where are my manners? Please allow me to introduce Yvain Winterscale, the younger son of Caligos Winterscale, in the flesh. You know, he was so close to witnessing the truth right before you interrupted our little chat. How dare you, contemptible peasant! For every drop of blood you spill, you will pay 100-fold more. Cassia turns to you for support with an expression that is equal parts indignant and frightened. Henrix grits his teeth. The boy is still alive, but if we want him to stay that way, we should hurry. Abelard shakes his head somberly. That poor fool, I knew nothing good would come of his naive attempt at negotiating with heretics. However, Yvain appears to still be alive. If we make haste, we might yet save him. Having a scion of House Winterscale in your debt would certainly prove beneficial. What madness have you wrought in this prison? Do you truly want to know? He becomes more animated and runs a hand through his matted hair. You note it's been some time since he last trimmed his nails. This was my garden where I tried to grow the seedlings of a beautiful future. That was before I realized that there is no future, not in the sense ordinary people understand. We're too attached to this life, to the limitations of our weak bodies, to the short-sightedness of our eyes that scarcely see. It's all so insignificant. The true future lies beyond real space, and the only way to reach it is through a cleansing sacrifice. Do you understand? Why did you mutilate these people? These are my optimates, saints who will guide the flock at the fated hour. Listen, he pauses and smiles. Can you hear? You can't. They're crying out, calling. It's just that their cries are not meant for our ears. They cast their voices out there beyond the edge of the glass, into the transparent quiet. There, they are heard. There, their call is answered. Rogue Trader, every moment spent on talking to this heretic could be a moment spent destroying him and committing the place to purifying flames. Isn't it time we got started? That pit. There's something special about it, is there not? An item of value was once buried there. Now tell me, Warden, what was the item and who took it from here? The Warden's gaze bores into you. Then he smiles with the corner of his lips. You're too late, enemy of truth. This bastion has already fulfilled its great purpose. You will never find the trail of the reclaimed relic that now rests in the hands of the devout. Aurora was felled by my hand. You have nothing to hope for. Surrender. He laughs hoarsely. You barely know what you're talking about, do you? You may have killed Aurora's mortal shell, but the prophetess is far more than her body. One day you'll meet her other fearsome form, and you will know the sheer folly of your triumph. He suddenly stirs like a predatory beast. I do not like it when people take the prophetess's Aurora's name in vain. I desire your death, enemy of the truth. Henrik sighs and draws his weapon. There was never any point in having this conversation to begin with. The Warden raises his hand and the maimed people start thrashing about in their death throes. This time for words has passed, Optimates. Give your power to this harbinger of Aurora. Let our foes see the truth or become awash in blood.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Give me strength.
Alright. Let's get to it then.